TXM247, welcome, bro. How you feeling?
What's up? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, bro. I'm doing well. So, you know what? You saw obviously that I reacted to your music video. I had a couple of questions because I thought it was a pretty unique concept, right? What
Yeah.
exactly motivated you to film the video in India?
Well, I was going to India for like unrelated reasons, just visiting family, but I
Mhm.
really wanted to shoot a music video while I was there just because the scenery is so different and it's like completely foreign for like Americans. I don't think they've experienced India that much. So I was fortunate to bump into a videographer who was there just randomly for the wedding season, and then we shot the video like just running gun style throughout the streets of Calcutta, and it was really fun. It was a fun experience.
And how did your audience receive it? Like, how did they feel about you just doing that?
Right now, my audience is like pretty small, but like they support me like a lot. So I think they just like see me talk my shit.
Right. And like the message behind the song, what were you just trying to tell the audience? What did you feel like you just had to get out?
I mean, the song is about kind of life and existentialism. So it's pretty much if you want to do something, there's going to be a process in order to do it. And sometimes the process is long. Sometimes you don't know when it's going to end, but you just have to push through, keep going, and just hope the fruits of your labor bud.
Yeah, and that's a super relatable message, right? Like no matter what someone's done, everyone has gone through that moment where they've pushed through something like important and relevant.
Yeah. And then I tried to get like the bleakness, like how it feels before you achieve success. I really tried to capture that in the song as well. And
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, like, what are your future plans? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
so I've been performing since 2022. This summer, I'm really getting into hyperpop. I have one hyperpop record that did pretty well. It's called Fastlane. So that started getting an audience in like East Asia and those areas. So I'm gonna keep on dropping hyperpop records this summer. Hopefully, people can listen to it, have fun, turn up, that sort of thing. And then in 5 years, I hope like by that time I'm established enough to be able to drop projects. So I just have a bunch of projects down the pipeline that I like to work on, fully flesh out, take my time with. Right now, I'm still in like the very beginning. I feel like, but that's where I hope to be.
And you mentioned East Asia, right? Are you looking for a primarily like foreign audience? Do you want to have like that international motion, or is it like focused on the United States, like the people here?
I mean, my sound is definitely different than pretty much all the artists like I've like performed with and stuff. My sound's more it's more international influenced, so it does well internationally. But I also like to perform in the U.S. I guess more like venues and stuff, private parties, that sort of thing. And then like my dream would be to do like a wedding season in Asia or something like that, or like a
Oh, yeah.
Asian tour because like the thing I learned about Kolkata is they love to turn up, they love to have fun, they love to have a good time. So like if I could insert myself in there, help them turn up, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, so let me set the scene. Like you're at a Calcutta wedding, you're performing. Who do you want like collabing on the song that you're performing?
Who I want collabing? Well, if it could be a local artist, I'd say Trap Alert. There's this local DC artist. He's amazing. We're gonna have like a bunch of music together. He's amazing. If it was an international artist though, well, maybe like Post Malone or something with like a more melodic sound, something like that.
Are you super interested in like genre crossovers? I feel like that's been like a really big thing in music these days where like two artists were irrespectively really big in their like industry or lane come together and they create like a cross banger, you know?
I think a definitely interesting space is like country and hip hop, how they're merging. And like
Right.
about 8 years ago, I made this song called Farm Girl. I was at Case Western Reserve University, and that took off. It was kind of like a crossover of hip hop and country. I think that is like definitely interesting to me long term. Right now, I'm focusing more on hyperpop though. I'd want to work with anyone as long as they're like good at what they do and they have like their vision in mind.
No, no, that checks out. So what made you get into music? What was the draw for you?
Actually, talking about Farm Girl, I was class of 2018 Case Western, right? But I took the long route, so I stayed there for like 4 semesters, and then I actually got kicked out of the university for a year. So like when that happened, I'm like, I want to bet on myself and like my music. So that's like when I really started learning music. I'd like make a song every week. I was terrible back then, but I'd still do it. I eventually made it back to Case, and then made a couple songs. My friends like started playing it on their Snapchat stories, so like I realized, oh shit, I might be like actually decent. And then I made this one song called Farm Girl. It took over the whole school. Like all the AFs were like rocking to it, and like people text me years later about the song still. Like it was like a case classic, like instant classic.
Yeah, do you want to talk about at all why you took a leave of absence at Case?
Um, I mean, basically it was like a bunch of student conduct violations, and like the last one was it was like I think 131 grams of marijuana. But
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I completely understand. I feel like most creatives they get caught up in something in school and that pushes them down a certain path, right? Like a path of pursuing something different. So that makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I'm glad my path has been the way it's been, and like I still was able to go back and get my degree from Case, and like I'm still an electrical engineer, so like I definitely like electrical engineering too. Like I'm trying to hold on to that as long as possible while also doing this music.
Yeah, what has the process been like doing both of them? Do you feel like they complement each other? Because I feel like most people feel like they have to do just one thing to be successful in it. But like, I don't know, different people, different strokes for different folks type thing.
So they like kind of complement each other at like a nerdy level because like electrical engineering is all about like waves, like sine waves, cosine, like how electricity travels. And if you think about
Right.
audio, all it is like power going through a speaker. So like down to that level, they're the same. But like if you think about like synthesizers and all these unique sounds, those are like literally circuits that are being built within the synthesizer. However, like they change the values of the resistance or whatever is that changes the sounds and stuff. So it's like at granular level it's related, but like practically I have to be available for my job, but then also perform late at night.
Right.
It's tough. It's kind of tough to balance, but I've been doing it so far. So
No, that works. That works. And I was gonna say, like, how has music changed your life?
I think music has like made me more confident overall. It made me better at expressing myself and I guess giving more of myself to people.
Hmm.
And I love the feeling of performing. That's one of the best feelings on earth when you have a crowd rocking with you. It's like that's one of the best feelings on earth.
And what's the company been like ever since you've got into music? The people that you've met.
I met a lot of talented rappers that are they're so good. They've been doing at a level like that I'm trying to reach. So they're people like who inspire me. I've met them, and I've actually got to work with them on some tracks. So that's like a dream come true. Meeting like your favorite musician, like making music with them. I met those type of people. I've also met a bunch of talented videographers. Producers hit me up all the time. I've had some really interesting producers hit me up with like completely unique sounds, and I don't know how many people have like been able to like record with those sounds. They're kind of new.
Dude, and I'm excited for you and excited to hear how it goes down. I was gonna say, you mentioned some artists that you really look up to. Whose sound inspires you right now? Like, what do you feel like in your soul? Just it's different.
I don't really use other artists for sound inspiration, but like more like what they're talking about and stuff. So like one of my favorite artists, his name's 202 General. Like I've learned a lot of life lessons just listening to his songs about how like people react and like how people can discard you and just take you for granted and all that stuff. Sonically, I'd say maybe I'm like more of an energetic Post Malone. I don't like listen to sounds. I just listen to the beats and then I let the beats kind of like tell me what needs to be said.
Yeah. And what does being out of DC do for you?
DC is like it's like a really it's kind of a small city when it comes to the rap scene. If you start rapping, you'll pretty much meet a lot of it really soon, and you'll know a lot of people. So it's interesting seeing how everyone else moves, and they influence me, and I think I influence them as well. So it's like a symbiotic relationship. And then I think the club scene for performing is like different in DC. Like I think it's like a little bit smaller. In DC, when you perform, like people sometimes they just won't react. Like they'll just like stare and look at you. But then after you are done, they'll like come up and be like, "Yo, what's your Instagram?" So like if someone does that in DC, that means they're like a fan of you. Whereas like other places they're kind of like cheering more and stuff like that. But DC is like really the people are like kind of aloof.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of like a calm bar town more than a like a big club town the way like New York is or even like Miami could be.
DC is like an interesting city because multiple cities within it. They're like the people who like grew up here, like the natives, and then the people who come in like more on the professional government side, like just work their jobs, and then they there's like two separate cultures that in the city at the same time, and like hopefully, ideally I'd like to merge the two when I'm that's like I guess a big goal for me is to merge the two and figure out how I can do that because I'm not from most rappers from DC grew up with a hard life and I'm fortunate I didn't have to go through that so
Hmm.
I've seen both sides of the city
Right.
and like I think hopefully that's something that's achievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, bro, I'm so happy we got to talk. I feel like we covered a lot of good ground here, and I assume from just your answers, I can feel like a genuine interest and a drive to be more and to achieve stuff in music. So I'm really glad that people could see that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I definitely will want to collaborate with as many DC artists as possible, or just artists in general who are just working on their craft because
Hmm.
it can't hurt. So I'm
Right.
glad
Right.
we could collaborate.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Nice talking.
All right, thanks.